players in the house. It's Dynasty Front Office, part of the Dynasty Warzone Network, and we are building championships one trade at a time. Please like and subscribe. And if you have a moment, leave a review. They're always appreciated, especially the 5-star kind. I'm your host, Jesse Schneeman, and I'm here with my wonderful co-hosts, my main man, Chad Mendoza. How you doing tonight, Chad?
I'm tired, but I'm excited to be here, and I'm drinking coffee. So it's going to be a good show.
Right on. And the auspicious Austin Bell. How are you tonight, Austin?
Oh, man, I'm good to go. Good to go. My team, making a comeback season. Is that what I'm hearing out here in the world of the NFL? The Carolina Panthers 2024 playoffs?
Whoever's telling you that, stop listening to him, Austin.
Wrong. My fault. Nah, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm great. This is not the hypothetical podcast.
Yeah, that was my fault. It was the wrong one.
Wrong one. Yeah, did you hear me almost call this the Dynasty Warzone?
I did.
Or War Games?
Yeah.
We're talking about. Yeah, but yeah.
We'll get it. By next season, you'll have it down.
Y'all, that's the rebranding the Dynasty Front Office. I almost called us the War Games.
You did it again.
All right. So I just want to remind everybody that in the third segment, we'll go over all of your trade questions. So if you have any questions about specific players, please post them in chat. And like I said, we'll get to them in the third segment. Austin.
Sir.
I hear you got a bad offer.
Bad offer is probably saying it nicely this week. But yes, I got one specific, just kind of stinker.
Yeah, this is the bad offer of the week, y'all.
You think I could send that on Sleeper?
That'd be awesome.
That would be pretty cool. But yeah, so it's a 12-team league, Superflex, 0.75 premium. It's one running back, one receiver, one tight end, 5 flex. So it's just a pretty wide open league. You can pretty much do what you want. There are some high yard bonus, touchdowns, yada, yada. Anyway, so manager randomly sends me Cedric Tillman in his 25-second for Brock Bowers.
What was that premium again?
0.75.
Oof.
Yeah.
That deserves another. Actually, let's give it to Yeah, I mean that's the old send the hot player for the good player. Get the hell out of here. I mean, that needs a high first.
Yeah, absolutely. Correct. Just to even think about it, to be honest.
Yeah, to even think about it, which you're still probably not doing.
Yeah.
But
I told him we were miles apart. He said basically what you reiterated is he's like, well, I just wasn't sure, how people are viewing these players currently, aka how high is Tillman?
Okay.
I don't think he's there, but where is he?
Well, let's start with Brock Bowers is tight end 1, right?
Correct.
Just like the Porter was.
McBride is very close to 2, like very close. He's to me he's flirting with 1 in my opinion.
Okay. I mean, I probably would rather have McBride personally.
Yeah.
Because he's already got a quarterback.
That was my reason why I say that.
Yeah. But I feel like out there on the mean dynasty streets, Bowers is 1. What do you think, Chad?
I've got Bowers as 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what would we consider Tillman in that trade? Like, what's his value? High second?
Yeah, I think that's about exactly where it'd be, an early second.
Tillman or JSN?
Oh, God. JSN.
Tillman or Addison?
Addison.
Okay, cool. So we're not out of control.
No, we aren't. Other people might be, but
yeah,
we aren't. If I can do either one of those players for my Tillman shares, I'm gonna do it tonight.
Tillman or Kamara? Cooper Kupp.
Oh, that one's a little bit more. These guys are going to be more interesting because the thing with Tillman is we don't know what the next season holds. Does he have a Nico kind of career surge, or does he do like most other receivers and has a short window of production and then turns back into a depth piece?
So, luck has it, I watched a little all 22 Cedric Tillman. And it's a lot of short stuff, but it's like big boy short stuff, like the slants like where he trucks the safety and goes for a touchdown. So he's built for it. But they also, when they throw it deep, which is not often so far, but when they throw it deep, it tends to be to him and not Judy, and certainly not Elijah Moore. So for now, I mean, he can get open deep. He got open on the, I guess you would call it a deep out. Did you see that spinning touchdown he caught last week? Where he kind of like twirled and toe tapped. It was beautiful, man. His ball skills are legit.
Yeah, it's incredible. But that's Tillman as a player, man. I mean, you guys know I've liked him since coming out of Tennessee. Really, really, really think he's a good football player.
Yeah, he was
if he was a little faster, I mean,
yeah,
we'd be talking about a really elite prospect. I think, in my opinion, I know a lot of people weren't very high on him, but yeah, I like him. I would take him for a late second, or a mid second. I'd take him for early second in this class. It starts getting a little just because the future of that team is so up in the air. But I mean, and it's also because I have a higher share. But I mean, if I didn't have any Tillman shares, then I'd be trying to go out and get him, even with that, early second kind of price you guys are talking about.
Across 25 leagues, I've got about a 50% share. So
yeah, that's about what I've got too. Yeah.
But just I was really, you and I were both really high on him during the draft process. I have a stepson at Tennessee, so like I was at a game, and I was really high on him, and probably a little higher on Jalen Hyatt than I should have been, but that's all right. You win some and you lose some with late seconds or early thirds, whatever. I think that's what separates him from Nico, though, is the top end speed. It's not quite there, but as far as like the route running chops, I think it's there. I mean, he's got to clean some stuff up and learn a few nuances, but he could get to Nico level there. Absolutely. I think you could see like a better Cortland Sutton, maybe almost George Pickens. He's built a little differently. He's more solid, but he's that type of receiver with speed and size and good ball skills.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, hopefully he turns into a Pickens. That would be great. But what I would say is it's not crazy to think this is just the beginning of something, especially considering he is coming off of a pretty big injury coming out of his last collegiate season.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like there was he was able to hit the ground running and just go for it. The start of his rookie year, he was still trying to get back to the Cedric Tillman we saw earlier in Tennessee there in that offense. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited for him.
Yeah, he didn't play really much at all last year, and for the first part of this year, so it's like 2.5 years he didn't play. Got to get a little rusty, but looks like he's shaking it off now. All right, Cedric Tillman, y'all. So remember, don't send Austin bad offers or you'll make the show.
That's right. I'm not scared.
Right on. All right, so that's bad offers of the week. Y'all, you want to play a little Family Feud?
Absolutely.
Woohoo! All right, let's go. Let's play some Family Feud. We are going to do the NFL Trade Deadline Edition. It's simple. I'm going to ask you a question. Yell out your name. It's going to be like the Family Feud. You'll say your player. The other person will have a chance to say their player. Whoever gets a higher point gets to either play or pass.
Okay, cool.
Ready? All right, gentlemen. Name a wide receiver. I'm sorry. Top 6 answers on the board. Top 6 answers on the board. 100 of our listeners polled to get these answers. Top 6 answers on the board. Name a wide receiver that was traded in the last month.
Austin.
DeAndre
Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins. points. Ding, ding, ding. Oops, sorry. 6 points to Austin. Player pass. That's the number one answer. So player pass.
I'll play.
All right. Who else you got? 5 more answers on the board, Austin.
Mike Williams.
2 points.
I'm going to cheat and use my two players from Jonathan Mingo.
1 point.
-1 probably. Deontay Johnson.
3 points.
And then Amari Cooper.
4 points. 1 answer left on the board.
And it would be Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams.
Ooh, clean sweep.
Ooh, man, that's a sweep, Chad. What do you have to say about that?
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all, like you did for that entire round.
That's right.
All right, Austin. Chad, what do you think about my order of like how this is how they will positively affect your dynasty roster?
Say the order back.
D-Hop, Adams, Amari Cooper, Deontay Johnson, Mike Williams, and Jonathan Mingo. Honestly, Mingo I only put in there because it actually happened. I don't think he'll. I don't think he'll contribute this year. I see they're probably like, fourth round pick to see if we get an extra year out of him, see if we can develop it into something out. I don't think it's for this year.
I mean, they don't have anybody.
I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think the order's fine. Yeah, it's tough with the top two. I could see that one going either way, but other than that, I think it's pretty much spot on.
All right, let's talk about the top two. What are they worth? What's D-Hop worth?
You can probably get a second out of him now.
He used to be like a third, right?
Yeah, I struggled to get a third last year.
I can see that.
So yeah, I mean, you could probably squeeze your contender second out of him now.
You giving up a late second for D-Hop, Chad?
Yeah.
What's the situation that you're buying that though? Are you going to buy him to put on your bench in case somebody gets hurt?
I'm not buying him right now. I'm waiting until later in the season. And then if I really feel like he's actually hit the ground running and he's performing, you feel like you can use him going into the playoffs, that's when I'm trying to get him.
The thing is with that, I agree with you totally. The issue with that is come week 12, 13, 14, the manager is going to want something else at the second. If he is scoring points, the price is going to go up. It's not going to go up to 2 seconds, of course not. But you'll probably get him for a second now because somebody's like, oh my God, I'm getting out for a second.
Yeah.
But come week 13, if he's putting up these mid wide receiver 2 numbers, then there's a good chance somebody else they're going to want one of those, Jalen McMillans or Jalen Polks or somebody like that with a second. Are you going to feel comfortable doing that?
I mean, if that's the case, then I'm just passing, right, and finding somebody else because there's going to be other options out there. But I think realistically, it's not just one person holding the cards in that situation. A lot of times, if somebody is realizing they're missing the playoffs, they're trying to get rid of this asset, and they're saying, "You got a second for me? I'm not sure if I decline this offer, I'm going to be able to get it from somebody else." Let them know, hey, you can take this offer, you can leave this offer for this second. There's plenty of players out there I can go after. DeAndre Hopkins is not the only guy here.
Sure.
And 9 times out of 10, I think people are just going to cut their losses, and it's not even cutting losses. I mean, that's a win, right? You got DeAndre Hopkins, you're getting a second for him, late in the season going into the offseason where he's going to be worth basically nothing, so yeah, I mean, I think it's a win-win for both sides. So that's just how I'd position it.
Are you you're not worried that he could just be traded before then? You're not worried about him like coming off the market before you have
No, because there's other options, right? Like you don't want to have this fear of missing out of DeAndre Hopkins, right? Like he's not going to be the only guy that's coming in late in the season and putting up numbers that you can get for a second round pick. So you just got to say, okay, keep him as an option. And if he's on a team where somebody's going to be open to trading him, then, approach it as that.
I
And
want
you're
him
only
to. I'm sorry, go.
you're only wanting to do this if you're like a top. You only want to acquire him as like a top 2 or 3 team, correct? You're
Yeah.
not somebody
Yeah.
fighting for the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to be pretty confident that he's going to make a difference. And even then, I mean, you've got to really consider other assets because DeAndre Hopkins really is not going to hold any value past this season.
Correct.
That's how you've got to approach it. So can I go out and get a player who can give me something close to DeAndre Hopkins or what he may be giving me and still retain some sort of value past this season? I mean, I would say odds are you can probably find something like that out there. So DeAndre Hopkins for me is just a good like last resort kind of option.
That's a very, very good way to say it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. All right, so let's move on to another one of those options in Devontae Adams. He's worth a little more, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to be, if not namesake, and a little bit younger and playing with A-Rod again. Maybe he shouldn't be, but he definitely is.
So what is that?
2 seconds. I get. Yeah, but if Tillman's producing, why would I make that move?
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Christian Kirk.
Oh, I would absolutely do that.
Would you take Christian Kirk if you had Adams and you weren't contending?
No. I'm not a Kirk guy, so I probably need to ask somebody else.
Chad? You're a Kirk guy.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't be my first choice. But I mean, I don't think it's a crazy offer.
What about Rashee Rice? Do you think you get him?
Oh, if you could, I would love that, but no, I don't think so.
Christian Kirk's value is really, really low right now.
It is super low.
I mean,
late second low.
You may have to give a second on top of Christian Kirk to get.
Yeah, I kind of think you're right.
Yeah, Keep Trade Cut says an early third and Kirk for Adams.
Yeah, I'd want a second.
Yeah,
I'd want a second in Kirk. I think Kirk is almost like a throw-in at this point.
Yeah, he's in that like give me a third in value kind of player.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy to think how much his value is really depreciated, but yeah, I'd want a second on that one. I'd want a second.
Yep.
Okay. So you're a contender. You have Rashee Rice. I'm not contending. I have Devontae Adams. How are we getting this done? Do I have to give you a third and Devontae?
No, I'm not doing that.
I got to give you a second.
Yeah, I'm probably not making that move.
You're not going to do that at all. No,
not without a substantial piece with it. Devontae, again, kind of like Chad was mentioning, I'd rather go after a different piece. Rice can get me a better, younger piece than Devontae Adams.
Mike Williams is gone. Lazard is on IR. It's really just him and Garrett Wilson.
Yep.
And Brees.
Hopefully.
Mike Conklin. I mean, every reason in the world to think he's going to have some blow-up games. It just probably is going to be a little hit or miss, probably. I think you can expect any consistency out of him. Because you can't expect consistency out of Aaron Rodgers right now.
Agreed.
It was a beautiful pass he threw, though. A touchdown.
Yeah, it was.
All right, so Amari Cooper, eternally worth a mid-second.
Sure.
The fact that he went to Buffalo, does that raise his stock?
I don't really want to pay for him, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting to the point now where you're just not wanting to really touch him at what people are going to be asking for him.
Keon Coleman, multi-week injury.
Oh, yeah, that is a good point. They did say that. I mean, that should help. You would hope. But, heck, I thought Dalton Kincaid would get force-fed targets, and he didn't. So I don't know what to think about that offense.
Yeah.
I would
multi-week injury really doesn't matter at this point, in my opinion. You're making that trade if you're a contender. You're not if you're like, I need Amari Cooper to compete to make the playoffs, then you don't need Amari Cooper. You need to just
agreed.
You need to just give up on the season at that point.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of what I was asking with D-Hop is like, what's the situation that you're even doing this?
Yeah.
I honestly feel better about that than I do Cooper because
I mean, if you lost Olave, Ayuk,
Yeah,
Godwin,
Diggs. I mean, there's
if
name after name.
if you lost
Shaheed.
two of those guys, you're filling in with Demario Douglas and Michael Wilson, and
Would you give Shaheed for any of those guys that we've talked about?
yes, I for Adams and Cooper.
Oh, no chance I'm giving him for Cooper.
How old is Cooper? Like 30, 31?
30 or 31,
30.
one of the two.
Yeah, 31.
Yeah. I mean, he's more or less in the same boat, right? Like, he's not going to hold any value going forward. That's the way you got to treat him,
Is this the end of the train for Amari Cooper?
Can't say
Maybe not
that
from
yet.
a production standpoint, but
No,
from
I
a
mean
value
from
standpoint.
a value standpoint.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
he's
I
been
think
worth
so.
a mid-second for years.
Yeah.
We talked about that a couple weeks ago.
So he's a free agent next year. Maybe not. Heck, I can't figure it out. Come back to me. I'm looking here, and I was like, "Oh, he's a free agent." And then I see a.
I don't think so. I think
hit.
they have an out on the contract, is what it is.
Yeah, hold please.
I mean, you're basically hoping Amari Cooper's like a Mike Evans, which I don't think he is.
He'd have to really. Well, no, Amari Cooper is excellent. Oh, you mean with the age?
Yeah, with the age, like
he's excellent still.
I think Mike Evans is probably like 2 years older or something like that.
Yeah, I think he's.
This is off the top of my head.
Mike Evans 31.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so a year older, but yeah, I mean, Mike Evans putting up the elite production, in with Tampa, year after year, and then in season, he's gonna have that value spike, and then you're gonna be able to move him if you need to do that, right? But with Amari Cooper, if you're buying him for that second right now, which I think would be a mistake, you're going into the offseason, value's gonna tank, gonna go into the season, he's gonna have to be elite for him to maintain it. He can't just be.
I don't think. I think expecting him to maintain value might be the wrong way to even look at it. Can he give you enough production this year and next year to be worth that second? Where, I light second round picks on fire all the time, buddy. Let me tell you something. So, what's the percent chance that you're going to hit on that second round pick, especially if it's your contender second and it's late, rather than get 2 years of a guy that is going to produce.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Amari Cooper in a vacuum, that's definitely something to consider. Are you going to get that value back? Maybe so. But I'm just talking Amari Cooper versus the field, right?
I got you. Who else who can you otherwise get for that second?
That's a good question.
Maybe that's something we think about over the next week, and we come back as a topic next week as our top 5 targets for contenders.
Yeah,
because we're getting into that season.
Yep.
Can you get Godwin for a second? Yeah, right.
Probably right around it. Yeah.
I'd rather have Godwin than Amari Cooper right now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You can hopefully get him back next year.
Yeah, but as a contender, that's not going to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cooper is a free agent, by the way.
Okay.
Cleveland ate all the cap for next year, and it was a plus year for them.
He would have to really click with Josh Allen for them to re-up him, but that's not out of the question.
Godwin's a free agent too, by the way.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Mingo is a little interesting solely because I'm not paying for him if I have him. I think I have him a couple spots because he was a Panther. There's just nobody there. I'm gonna guess CD misses some time too. I hope not, but he may have to play, and maybe he looks somewhat alive, and you can get a third for him at some point.
Speaking of Panthers, Xavier Legette, what's his value, Austin?
Man, I don't think it should have gone down any. I still think it's that early second. Yeah, early second.
He was like a mid-second.
Yeah.
In the draft cycle, so it's gone up to early second. I could see I could see somebody paying a late first for him if they really believed in him.
Yeah, I haven't met many of those people, to be
I
honest.
wouldn't do it. I actually have, but that's because I know people from that town in South Carolina.
So you know his grandma is what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying I met Dollar Bill, but I know of him. Dollar Bill's a friend of a friend. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, he's been fine. I don't want to pay a first for him.
No,
I don't think he's the best receiver on the team. But
who's best receiver on the team? Coker.
Yes,
Really?
Sir. I believe he's the best receiver on the team.
What's his ceiling?
I think we mentioned the prime Cortland Sutton is a really good comp in my opinion.
So you think he could be the number one?
I think he should be.
I think next year.
Yes, I think last week is going to skew people away from him. But it didn't get reported. But that play, he almost scored a touchdown. I don't know if y'all saw the little screen pass that he took almost to the house.
Mm-hmm.
He hurt his shoulder. Nobody reported anything about it. But there were videos on the sidelines of him getting his shoulder worked on, and that's why he wasn't in the game the rest of the game. Okay. That's why David Moore took the wide receiver 2 snaps, which made a lot more sense because I was quite furious during the game. Mm-hmm. But yeah, honestly, man, I think he's a legit receiver. Like he truly is can be a NFL fantasy producing receiver.
Interesting. I wonder if this is like Chad and Daniel Jones.
It could be.
Chad and Daniel Jones. What is happening?
Shots across the bow. You'll never quit him.
Well, I have no shares of.
I
have one share of Daniel Jones.
You still think he's
the first Jalen Coker share has arrived in my inbox.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, I took your advice, Austin.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. So I gave up a fourth and Roman Wilson.
Ooh, it's a good deal.
I like it a lot.
I'm going to go try to get that done. I have one Roman Wilson share that I took in the 3rd round. I like that.
He asked for Jermaine Burton, and I was like, no. But I almost said yes, just because I have so many Jermaine Burton shares. But, yeah. Got my first Coker share.
Nice. Congrats.
Happy for you.
So Deontay Johnson, I think, is interesting because considering that he's been traded twice in the last calendar year, he's got to be a free agent, right?
Yes, he is.
So I think on most teams, it makes sense to offer a late second for him for what he could be for you next year.
Yeah, that's totally fair, being the amount of places he can go that I think we see a value tick up. I think that's totally fair. I would love to move Cooper for Deontay.
Really?
Yeah. I'm gaining, 3 years for what I view as a similar level player at this point.
Yeah, but do you think you're going to get that production out of Deontay Johnson this year?
Maybe not. Am I getting it out of Cooper?
Maybe not.
Yeah, see? That's exactly my point.
Yeah, it's not guaranteed just because of where being new on that team and having so many other targets. It's a little up in the air. All right. So Deontay Johnson or Amari Cooper, Chad?
Deontay Johnson, I think. Yeah.
Just, I don't want to say he's a better player. They're both good players.
Man, I would just be hoping he's leaving Baltimore. That's the thing. If he resigns in Baltimore, that's my only hesitation. If he resigns in Baltimore, then
he doesn't strike me as a high character guy that would take a hometown discount, and that's what it would take to resign in Baltimore. Trust me. I live here.
I mean, unless he hits free agency and decide and finds out that nobody's going to pay him, which
I think he would take a better opportunity. You know what I mean? Just where
Yeah.
he's higher in the pecking order. He's going to be behind Sagan, likely, or Andrews, however that shakes out next year.
Yeah.
Not my job to shake that out.
That whole thing. Yeah, let's not talk about that one.
What? Andrew's coming back to life. Likely he's hurt right now, so it makes it easy.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah. Anyways, nightmare.
All right, so I guess that's it. Mike Williams. Is there any situation where you would have Mike Williams on your team? To me, he's a roster clogger, and I wouldn't give up. I don't think I would put a 0 bid on him.
I would because of the name, so you can hope you get a third. But no, not really.
Never going to happen. All right, Austin, you have, let's add your points up right now. 20?
That's what I'm talking about.
21 points at the moment.
No, that's not his number.
Can we call it?
Well, no, because Chad, we have one more round, and lucky for you, this round's worth 22 points. All right, gentlemen, are you ready?
Don't worry, Austin. I'm so exhausted. When you were going through the names, I could think of like 2. So,
are you ready? Name a running back that was traded in the last month. Top 2 answers on the board. Go.
Chad, Khalil Herbert.
Khalil Herbert. It's worth 12 points. I'm sorry, 10 points. And there is a 12-point answer on the board. Chad, name one more.
Moss, right?
Not in the last month. Austin, for the steal and the win, name one more running back traded in the last month.
Dynasty darling, Cam Akers.
Oh, Cam Akers is traded. Damn. Was that this month?
And Austin Bell is the winner. Yeah, I think it was just a couple weeks ago.
Really?
It was considered a deadline deal.
Time goes by really slow.
Time goes by pretty quickly, yeah.
Really slow. I thought this was like really months ago.
And I do have one more round, and I'm going to show you my sheet just to prove it. It's defensive players, if you want to play that.
Oh.
No.
I don't know, man. I did this.
Absolutely not.
Did this while I was at work, and for some reason, I was being detail-oriented, and I thought, well, we could talk about, like, the impact on the quarterback for their team if their defense got better. I do think the only thing that made me think of that was, like, does Marshawn Lattimore, if he was healthy, make Jaden Daniels a little less productive?
Nah.
We won't. Let's not talk about Zadarius Smith. And
he was on the list.
I think we're good. But yeah, I could not think of another running back that had been traded. I was like, shit, there's 2. But yeah, Cam Akers. That just felt like so long ago.
Can you now get something for Khalil Herbert? Can you get a third for him now?
Well, his first touch tonight, he fumbled.
I saw that.
He recovered it, but still.
That's a Jesse Darling, man.
Yeah, I used to love me some Khalil Herbert, man. I just Chase Brown is so good. I never loved Khalil Herbert like I love Chase Brown. So what I like about Khalil Herbert, excuse me, sorry, got a little dry there. I need some water. What I like about Khalil Herbert is that he'll give Chase Brown a breather, just soak up some carries so he doesn't, get overworked.
Yeah.
They need somebody there to, Zach Moss, I believe, is out for the year. Hopefully he'll play again. He hurt his neck in practice and is out for the year.
Really?
Yeah, that's not good.
Not good.
Ugh.
Not good at all.
Neck injuries are never good.
No. I don't like to discuss them.
Cam Akers is interesting. I really want him to make a resurgence so bad. I'm like, He's been fine. I mean, every time they actually run him, he's been fine.
He's fine. He must be the biggest pain in the ass on the planet.
Yeah, maybe
Every
so.
coach is like, just get out of my locker room. I don't care, Camp. I don't care. Just leave.
I mean, he
Maybe
had
he
that
just
problem
wants
in
to
college.
play.
So
Oh, did he?
yeah, he had attitude concerns coming out. I remember that.
Where do you go,
really?
Clemson?
No, Florida State.
No, Florida State.
Florida State. That's right. That's right. He ran behind the worst offensive line in history, so we really didn't even know how good
that
he
offensive
was.
line was awful.
Yeah. Yeah, Cam Akers has been a fun ride. Yeah, that's a sarcastic fun ride. It's been a really shitty ride. It's been.
I mean, it's him and Dobbins, right? Injuries.
Yeah, it's been a little better. It's been a little worse than Dobbins, actually.
Yeah. But it's the same thing though. It's just injuries. I mean, they've never really had any kind of consistent play.
Yeah. At least Dobbins seems like a team guy.
Yeah. Also, he's better, but that's a different discussion.
I mean, neither one of them are relevant, so it doesn't matter.
Not relevant. One's a RB1.
I mean, one of them is going to get hurt in like 5 games time, but yeah, okay.
Oh, so not 9 though this year.
I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't be buying. Anyways, I don't believe either one of them can stay healthy. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously possible, but injuries are completely random. There's no way to know that they stay or go.
I mean, they're not. Yeah, well, I don't think they're random, but
I mean, Thomas Davis tore his ACL 3 times in 4 years to start his career and never got hurt again.
So, yeah, I mean, we can all list examples, but I mean, it's just more likely to happen, especially when it keeps happening, right? Players, there's some players that just get injured over and over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, Keenan Allen started his career injury prone. What, played 7 years without an injury? So I'm saying, like, we just don't know.
There's always going to be examples. There's always going to be examples. I know you like Dobbins. I know you love Dobbins.
Yeah, the talent's phenomenal in my opinion, but the injury's there for everybody. Yeah,
speed's gone.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what sucks about it. But he's a very skilled player still.
No, yeah, he's a good player. I just don't. I don't know. I see people saying, go out there and buy Dobbins. I don't get it. I mean,
I wouldn't.
And
I also think Harbaugh is. I think he'll just chew up running backs. I don't really think he cares who he throws out there. So it's very possible that Dobbins either gets drafted over or they sign somebody that just performs better or coaches like better or whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, I saw somebody trade Dobbins for Josh Jacobs, or get Josh Jacobs for Dobbins, and I don't get it.
They're on a different level.
Yeah,
Josh Jacobs is an elite running back.
I mean, I don't get it.
I mean, he had his out of shape year last year. 2 years ago, he was top 3 fantasy running back. So, I mean, he led the league in yards, didn't he?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, though. I mean, I wish I had some Dobbins shares when he was going for basically nothing, or grab some up. So
I got one as a throw-in the offseason. It was nice.
Yeah, I don't have any, but
I've sold 3 this year. I had like 6 going into the year. I have a couple that I still have on contenders.
That's awesome, man. What did you get for him?
I paid. I sold Dobbins and got some like a third or fourth piece, and got JJ McCarthy. Was probably the notable one.
You sold Dobbins and got JJ McCarthy?
Correct. It was Dobbins and Watson in week 3, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha. That's it. That worked out.
And then I got a 26 first for him in one league, and a second, and somebody in another one. A player, a receiver. I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh, that was the Jamar Chase trade. I don't know if I won that or not at this point. I got Chase, Dobbins, and Judy for Neighbors and JMO.
Honestly,
I mean,
I don't think
it's. Yeah, I don't think that's.
I don't know if I won that at the time.
I mean, it's too early to declare a winner on that one. Yeah. I mean,
at the time, I thought it was a steal, but that was August.
I mean, at this point, I'd rather have Chase over Neighbors and Eckler, and what was the other piece?
No, it was Dobbins.
I mean,
for-
Dobbins, and what was the other piece?
Judy.
Judy over JMO.
I'll take
I mean-
Dobbins for that, but
Yeah, if you're competing, I'd take. I mean,
I'm competing, but it's an extremely deep roster, and
yeah,
the only two players in that trade that were going to start for me were Neighbors or Chase.
yeah,
I think I
yeah.
started
It's tough because the whole
once.
trade really hinges on Chase and Neighbors. Really,
Yeah.
If Neighbors doesn't end up being what people think he is, as far as consistent top 3, top 4 player, then
And
you
me
win
in
that
those,
trade.
me in those situations, I'll always take the guy that
Yeah.
already is there,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
the guy that's trying to get there.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Right on. All right, that's the feud, y'all. Austin won a game.
let's go
Yeah.
back-to-back weeks.
I just like it. Oh yeah, I guess you did win last week. That's right. I just like it when Chad doesn't win.
Yeah,
Last
that's
week's
the
game
best.
was week's game was specifically designed so that Chad couldn't win.
I don't even remember last week's game, guys.
It was the court episode, buddy.
Oh, that's right. I didn't. Yeah, because I didn't play. That's right. Now Austin's been kicking my butt lately. I think.
Come
I think
prepared.
there's been I think there's been like 2 or 3 games, and maybe not in a row, but pretty recently that he beat me.
It's just a precursor to Sunday.
You guys make any good trades lately? Like,
Oh yeah, I made a fun trade.
oh yeah.
I acquired my first CMC share in probably 4 years.
Ooh, which bet?
I'm a playoff team. I'm currently 3rd. My running backs have been disgusting, and I'm still 3rd, so that's kind of why I made the move. I paid my 25 first and 25 second, and I got CMC in his 25 third, which he's currently 9th.
Steal.
So, I thought it was a good trade.
That's a steal.
I don't know how much more I would pay though. Like if I hear you, but like I'm definitely not giving 2 firsts for him.
No. Well,
So I can't see it, man.
if he comes back and smashes this week, it's gonna be.
It's gonna feel awesome. Yeah.
He's gonna be worth at least that.
God. I may sell him then. To be honest with you.
Are you close with this roster? Are you gonna win?
It's a good roster. It's a big IDP league, so that's floating me. My offensive side's young. Honestly, he's probably my oldest piece on offense, including bench and everything. So like, it's not a trade I normally even make, but the guy wanted picks. I still have an early first and 3 other seconds. So I was like, man, I'll try. And the hope is if I realize I'm not going to do it, I'll make a trade at the end of the season and hope to recoup most of that value back.
I regret not getting more CMC shares while I could. I mean, it's over now. Party's over.
Yeah, I'm terrified. I told the guy when we were doing the trade, I said, man, I'm terrified of what it's going to be. Like, I worry after this week we hear, oh, the tendonitis has flared back up, and is he worth the first again?
Get out of here. Yeah, sure.
I'd get rid of him if you could get what Jesse's thinking you could get.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If it's a good game, then I'm definitely going to shop him.
Yeah.
I'm excited just to throw him in there and smash.
Hopefully.
I got my 2 shares. Hopefully gonna win.
Yeah.
I mean, I paid a first and 2 seconds for him in a 1 QB league where RBs are
good.
freaking. That was a while ago too. But I'm sorry, what were you gonna say, Chad?
No, I was just gonna say the only thing is it's always tough when you just pick up a player that the whole league sees as traded, especially a guy like Christian McCaffrey, and then they know what you're doing, right? He has a big game, then you go out and sell him. Nobody wants to look like the guy who's paying more because of one game.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, a couple guys. All right. So, what's Pacheco worth right now? Because he's coming back in a couple games.
Yeah, I just had somebody put him on the trade block. I didn't really know what to offer. It's a
What's
good
the chance
question.
he gets? So there's guys like Pacheco and Chase Brown that, I mean, what's the chances they get drafted over? It's a really deep class.
I mean, it's a good chance 50% of the league gets drafted over.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
are we really giving up real assets for these running backs that could be backups next year? Like Khalil Herbert, Damian Pierce, this happened to. There's a lot of guys this happens to.
Yeah.
Or should we be treating them like Rico Dowdle, somebody that we expect to get replaced?
Pacheco's, I don't know how to feel about him, man. I would have thought he got drafted over in this class. So maybe he doesn't. I mean, he's super cheap.
Maybe it just didn't work out. It didn't fall to them. That wasn't a guy they liked.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine they don't take another, at minimum, day 3 back.
They know they need depth with their, running Kareem Hunt and the skeleton of Kareem Hunt and Colton Steele.
Unless I need a running back in that range to perform for me right now, right this second, and as we're approaching playoffs, I'm scared of that whole range of running backs.
Yeah, me too.
Your Pacheco's, Rashad White's, Swift's, all those kind of guys. I mean, man, I'm not really wanting to pay for what people are going to ask for him.
Yeah.
Put Pollard in there?
Yeah, Pollard's in there. I'd rather go after a guy like call me a homer. Rather go after a guy like Tracy. I'd rather go after a guy like even Chuba Hubbard or somebody like that. I don't know. He's even tough because he's got the guy behind him. But
Pacheco, you're not getting for less than a first.
Correct.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's probably a first plus.
Yeah. I think it's a first plus. Yeah, or like an early. Second. I think it's an early second to a late first is what you're getting Pacheco for, depending on the team he's on.
Yeah, I don't think his owners.
I would love to do the early second.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah. I think you're probably right. That I think when we look at it in May, there's a good chance that you're right. That's the value. Yeah. But I think right now managers are not going to take a single second, or even, say you have an absolutely just loaded roster. They're not going to take just their first.
Yeah, and I think you're probably right. I'm really not buying that range of running back. I'm not doing it.
Those are the guys that you buy after the NFL draft. Like after your rookie draft, when you're in the dead zone, you're like, oh, this guy didn't get drafted over. Let me see if his owners wants to get out.
Or even if he did and he's not good. Like Josh Jacobs. We knew Marshawn Lloyd wasn't anything special.
And that's not even getting drafted over yet. So, right, yeah. But, if it's Josh Jacobs.
Well, there's a big difference between, like, Amari and Hampton going there to KC and the 15th running back off the board. That's the big scare. Like, this year, there's going to be 10 guys that I might feel great about. Like, great. And if they go there in the 4th round, I'm going to be intimidated.
It might be 15.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know who I'd take over Pacheco at this point? I feel like their prices are probably similar, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but Brian Robinson.
Yes.
That's an interesting one.
That's the one guy in that range I am buying.
Yeah, me too. I've been against Brian Robinson, but man, watching him this season, he looks really good. He's a young back. I think him and Pacheco are probably similar in age. But he looks really, really good. That's a young team. I think they like what he brings to the locker room.
Yeah, and he meshes. He definitely has a chemistry with Daniels.
Yeah. I just have a hard time seeing, the difference between him and Eckler is so apparent as far as, when they're on the field. The difference is night and day. I think they're going to stick with Brian Robinson. I highly doubt they draft somebody.
I agree. Wow. I think they'll bring in. I think they might draft somebody, but not somebody to replace him. Just somebody.
Yeah. Somebody to replace Eckler in that role or something. Yeah, I could see that. But I just don't see them bringing in somebody to say, okay, you're challenging Brian Robinson for the starting role. Brian Robinson has just looked like one of the better backs in the league when he's on the field.
They can save $3.6 million by cutting Eckler this year.
Yeah, I think they're going to cut him. Yeah, I don't think he hasn't really looked great.
Yeah,
I think he's in bursts, but
he's looked great when Brian Robinson is like really tore teams down. Then they put him in, and then he'll do something. But Brian Robinson looks incredible when he's on the field.
Yeah, I think he's looked great. Is this his third year?
Yes.
So he's got one more year, and then they have to make a choice.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is his third year. He's owed a whopping $1.6 million next year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's the man there next year, and then we'll see. I mean, if he does this again next year, then they're crazy not to extend him.
Yeah, and he's had his down games, but I mean, every running back's going to have those, and I just really like what he's been able to do. I don't think that offensive line is really, really, really good. I think he just kind of beats teams down. It's fun to watch. I'm excited about that whole Washington offense. I think it's gonna get better and better.
All right, y'all. I just got a counter offer. So before we started, I sent out an offer of Javonte Williams and Calvin Ridley for Rashee Rice.
So you were a dickhead.
Really?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. Well, you went to third on top of that.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead and just make that so easy.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's even close.
Let's talk about Rashee Rice. A little bit. I know we brought him up before. What's that?
Name the trade again.
Calvin Ridley, Javonte Williams, and a third for Rashee Rice.
Yeah, I'm taking Rashee Rice pretty easily.
You think he's just going to go right back to that role when he's
Yeah.
healthy and served his suspension?
Too talented.
Why not?
Well,
Yeah.
Jesse seems to think that they're going to have this new plan when he comes back, and I don't really see why.
I didn't say that. I just am worried that they might. It's Andy Reid. He can do whatever he wants whenever he wants, but
I mean, that's true, but I don't know, man. I feel like he's shown that he's a good enough talent in the NFL to deserve and earn targets.
So he's definitely there 2 more years.
Yeah.
If I don't know that Calvin Ridley or Javonte Williams have 2 more years in them.
Javonte just turning 24 definitely does.
Okay,
but
maybe not
but
as a
Ridley,
starter.
Yeah. I mean, as a chance to correct. You're correct. That's why I think it's a very easy trade.
Yeah.
But Ridley could absolutely be done for any kind of relevance.
All right, that's a done deal. It's weird because I'm 7-2 and in second place, but it's such a bullshit 7-2.
Yeah.
I have less points. I should be in 6th place points wise. And Trevor's not starting. I traded both of my other quarterbacks, backup quarterbacks. I'm kind of in tank mode anyways, even though I'm 7-2. It's really weird, but screw it. I just accepted it.
Yeah, I like that.
Better be good, y'all. Well, and that's the other thing. I lost Ayuk and Kirk and something else. Oh, I traded like I said, I traded a bunch of stuff. So all right, good deal. Trade done on air, y'all.
Nice.
Thanks.
Love it.
All right, you guys seen any good movies?
I'm on to Christmas, so.
Are you watching Christmas movies already?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, what's your guys' go-to Christmas movies? Got to hear this.
Austin?
The Santa Claus trilogy is the first 3 we're gonna watch.
What is that? Tim Allen?
Yeah.
I've never seen this.
Oh my God, they're amazing.
Are they good?
Christmas with the Cranks is probably my favorite Christmas movie.
I've never seen that.
I've
Oh
never
my
seen
God,
that
it
either.
is hilarious.
Who's in that?
Tim Allen and oh my God, what's her name?
Oh, so Tim Allen is just Christmas.
Yeah,
for
you're
you.
just a Tim Allen guy.
Yeah.
Apparently, I did grow up watching Home Improvement, so I guess
Did you?
that
I
line up.
hated that show. Oh,
Oh,
I
my.
did too.
I just could never get into Tim Allen. And what's the appeal of the boring guy with the flannel shirt?
He's the average person.
Uh,
Don't you know somebody like that?
I don't want to watch the.
yes, I don't want to talk to
in
him
my
or
off
watch
time.
him on TV in any way. Oh my god!
Hey, I can go outside and talk to my neighbor. Hypothetically, I can't actually do that, but
Yeah, see, so you can just watch Home Improvement.
yeah, right. Yeah, I'm just on the ranch watching Home Improvement, wishing I had a neighbor.
There you
I'm
go.
talking to my neighbor Don. He's got a ponytail, rides a Harley. He's a retired professor.
He does not sound like the average person.
No, he's not.
It sounds like a cool dude.
He is. Actually, I like him a lot. He's a good guy. I'm lucky I have very good neighbors.
That's awesome.
Chad, any good movies?
I'm just going to talk about Christmas movies.
Oh,
now.
Christmas movies. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas Story, number 1 all
Yeah.
time.
Banger.
Starts Thanksgiving week, goes all the way to the end of Christmas. Love that movie. Watch it like 10 times. And then grew up watching that. We even had like a leg lamp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from the
Nice.
from the movie. Yeah, so we bring that out every year. Well, when I was a kid, we did. And not sure who has that thing now. Probably my dad, but
I would absolutely
anyways,
have kidnapped that and held it for ransom.
Oh, it's pretty awesome, man. And then of course got to go with Home Alone. Can't go wrong with Home Alone.
Home Alone's a good one.
Yeah.
I have accepted that as a Christmas movie. I didn't grow up watching it because I'm a little too old for that. I don't think it was around until I was a little older.
Mhm.
But over the last 5 years or so, I've accepted it into my warm embrace. It's in the inner circle of Christmas movies.
It's a classic, man. You got to go with the Home Alone. You got to at least watch it once or twice.
What about Home Alone 2?
Home Alone 2, yeah, you gotta throw Home Alone 2 in there. In the limousine with the big cheese pizza. I mean, yeah, iconic scenes, man.
I draw the line there, though. I'm not doing 3.
No, I don't even know what 3's about.
I think it's
1
Kieran.
and 2. No, 1 and 2 is the only one that exists in my mind. Yeah. So they're irrelevant, like Dobbins.
All right, so Christmas Vacation is number 1 for me. I grew up with that movie. Every time, let me tell you a story about my mother. Every single time, it's a quick story, we ever went on vacation anywhere, like 2 days before we were leaving, up into the time we walked in the door after vacation, she sang the Holiday Road vacation song the entire time. So that tells you how much she loved Christmas or vacation movies. And so I remember seeing that as a child in the theater with my mother. So it's a fond memory. I have to watch it every year. I love it. But as far as like funniest, best movies, got to be Christmas Story. And then Elf is way up there.
Yeah.
Maybe
Elf. Yeah.
So good. So, but then there's some underrated ones that we have. 5 Christmases is hilarious. Vince Vaughn. And
never seen it.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I definitely recommend. My wife turned me onto it. I had never seen it, and it's really, really good. It's hilarious. Robert Duvall, Vince Vaughn. Who's the guy that directed? Not Kevin Smith. No.
Isn't it 4 Christmases?
It's 4 Christmases. You're right. Yeah.
I was like,
I'm from Philly. I can't.
You
count.
said Vince Vaughn. I was like, hold on.
Maybe there's a sequel.
Gotcha.
Who's the guy that played Iron Man's butler?
Oh,
he's a director.
Yeah, he directs Iron Man.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I hate when people do this. When they ask me, not you, but like when you forget something and then you ask somebody else and it makes them forget it. Now I can't think of his name. What's his name?
Oh my gosh.
Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
He's hilarious in 4 Christmases.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's great.
He's really funny in that movie. If you like him, you have to watch the movie.
Okay.
It'll become part of your rotation. All right, y'all. I guess that's it. You got our quick early Christmas list.
That's right.
Impromptu. Love it.
Get it ready.
Yeah, right on. Anything else, guys?
That's it.
All
That's
right.
it, man.
It's been War Games.